Hey there, blockers. Welcome to Two Dice Block. I'm Luke.
And I'm Carl.
Excellent. We're here today to do a preseason breakdown of the 2021 Blood Bowl Sunshine Coast League, or better known as, Carl.
The SSCBBL. All right, and
Exactly.
today, what we're going to be doing is a couple of things. So we're going to be looking at each of the teams entered in the league. We're going to be looking at the new teams and the returning teams, and we're going to be talking a little bit about their composition. So what's some players you'd like to look out for. We're going to be looking at the names and the naming schemes, and we're going to be
Team
talking a
and
little bit.
overall team.
We're also going to be talking a little bit about the coach history, so whether it's a returning coach or a rookie coach. However, we'll be leaving all personal information out, so do not worry, we won't be name dropping anyone. Now, on this, we're also going to split this into two videos because it's going to be, by its nature, quite long. So we're looking at doing no more than 5 minutes on each team, and we're going to break it into two videos of 10 teams. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the first 10 teams, and the order is just the order that they're on the list. So that's what we're going to be doing. Anything else I've forgotten to mention at all, Luke?
No, I was just thinking all the teams will be timestamped, right?
I will timestamp the team. Thank you for reminding me. So if you'd like, you can just jump to your own team or any other particular teams that interest you. Um, and so
Send me
without,
your digital assistant coach.
yeah, yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that maybe towards the end. I was thinking about doing a different video on that one.
Yep,
But lots coming soon from Two Dice Block. Don't worry.
been
Um,
busy.
so yes, we have been busy because we've got nowhere to go at the moment. So hopefully I guess a preload of that, we are currently still in lockdown. Hopefully, we can kick off the league by next week. But if not, there's no reason we can't all get hyped for it for when we do open. Um,
Yes, exactly.
so, I guess without further ado, we're going to jump in to the first team, the Ogre
Number one.
Achievers.
Yeah, the
All
Ogre
right.
Achievers.
Yep, an Ogre team. Um, and so I'll go through a bit of the composition first now, and then I'll talk a little bit about the coach. So we've got one Ogre Rut Punter, we've got a bunch of Ogre Blockers, and then a ton of Nobbler linemen. Okay, so
How
about,
long the skills on those ogres?
yeah, so I did want to talk about that. So um, he's got about 3 spots left, I'm assuming for star players, I think, to fit in there. He's got 3 rerolls, which is real good. I
That's
think I
ogres.
think he'll be aiming for a fourth as soon as possible. Um, but the big thing here is he's taken advantage of the extra skills. And he's given 2 of his
Yes, the
ogres uh,
break tackle.
break tackle. What do you make of this,
What a
Luke?
way to
The
go.
the break tackle.
Break tackle. So when you go to dodge, is that what you'd like to know?
Yeah, well, actually, that's a good point. Tell us what actually break tackle does for because we have a lot of new
So
coaches.
instead of dodging, leaving tackle zones on your own agility skill, you use the strength and modify it that way, and you end up with more than likely a 2-up ogre dodging out of tackle zones.
Yeah, so they can only use this once per turn, I believe. So
Yes.
on one dodge roll, but it basically means they can get once per turn a 2+ dodge, which,
Personally, I think it's brilliant.
yeah, I think it's genius
Ogres
too.
dodging on two was just, it's
I
great.
I think it mitigates, like he's tried to mitigate the biggest issues that the ogres have. So the first one would be that they will bonehead all
Bonehead.
the time. So he's invested heavily in rerolls because these ogres actually, and I didn't realize this, they don't have loner, so you can reliably reroll with them. Um,
You know, you're going to lose, you're going to get at least one bonehead a turn from my experience. You're going to
mm.
burn through those rerolls if you're going to use them on the bonehead.
I think he'll be looking to save them for those pivotal
Correct.
ones. You know,
The
the ones
pickups,
you
the go
can't.
for it.
Yeah, the ones you can't fail, as well as maybe picking up the ball and just avoiding those double skulls. Um, But then this break tackle means that, like, the thing is, I know at least when I'm playing against ogres, I just wait for the right moment to tie them all up and then snatch the
Oh,
ball.
yeah. Yeah.
But this stops
There's
you from being able to do
undeniably
that.
going to be the slowest cage possible,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not bad. You know, you start kicking those nobblers around and you just never know, hey?
yeah. um, I don't. I think it might be the slowest cage, but it's going to be one of the toughest in the league to
Oh,
break.
absolutely.
It's gonna be
Oh, I
hard.
don't know. You know, it's going to be definitely hard to stop those strength 5 ogres pushing up the table.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering about how you would go against, because I think from seeing him play, I think he's using a Ogre as a ball carrier, which is also quite strong, I think, because she's trying to knock down a
Actually,
strength 5 ball carrier is
won't get the
pretty
ball off
hard.
them.
Um, and I like, yeah, so I think this is going to be a strong team, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, considering the coach was champion last season, we will yeah, we will see a really well played ogre team here.
Yeah, I think this Ogre team has definitely gone for the competitive angle, and like you said, yeah, the coach won the last league. He's the returning champion, so he's testing his skill with Ogres, a tier 3 team. He's got a couple of extra fans there to just boost his
Okay,
score.
with Treasury, just having a look here. Yeah, he's still got. So CTV is 955 100,000. He's only got 5k left in the treasury, which for an ogre player is quite
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, well, I think he'll be definitely using that petty cash to try and get a star player.
But yeah, yeah. You know what? Star players are great. But there's other cool stuff out there in the inducement, so we'll
Mm,
watch that carefully.
yeah, I think so too. I think as we go, he'll get more petty cash as the other teams start to get more skills. On
I
the flip
think,
side, what do you reckon of these names? Because I personally love them.
yeah,
Now, normally the coach of this team has a rule where he doesn't name players until they earn it. But he's gone out on a limb here and given them some pretty cool names that
oh,
I
it's a
quite
dunk tanker
like.
for one. Come on,
Yeah,
like you can't get any better than Chuck
I
Norris.
love it. I reckon that is so good. I actually love some of his Nobler names. They're probably not going to live long enough, so he's going to need a lot of names for them to churn through.
You
Massive
never know, you
Mick
might
is one
have
of
a
my
Killer
favorites.
Kev the third or something.
um, so I'm really tempted to put this as a nomination for the naming scheme.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
so the way that we're
You've got a
going to
vote,
do, and
just like I've got a vote, so
yeah, there's the 5 minute timer. I guess we'll just talk very briefly about the theme award. So what we're going to do out of the 20 teams is we'll nominate a bunch of them for probably best theme, and then we'll probably pick somewhere between 3 or 4 after the videos, and we'll put a poll up on the Sunshine Coast Blood Bowl page, which you guys can all vote on for which one you think is the best theme or the best names.
absolutely get on
Okay,
board.
so get on
Be
board
part
when
of the
that pops
community.
up, and the person with the most votes will win the inaugural Best Theme Award, which exclusively comes with bragging rights, a lot of gloating. Really, I mean, I would say it's probably one of the most coveted awards we have in the league, personally. Um,
It's a hard one to do for me myself. I'm still running on numbers.
yeah. um, well, ask me if there's a trophy for best theme, Luke.
Ooh, is there a trophy for best theme?
Absolutely not. All right. We don't have that kind of budget, unfortunately. Um, but, really winning is its own reward.
It's
But
true.
those are the Ogre Achievers. I'm really keen. I think I play this team um, week 2, so I'm really keen to play them. I think they'll be really crazy, really beat down.
Looks like the only way I'll see them this season is in the finals. If
Yeah.
we get
Oh,
that
you're not
far,
playing them. Yeah. Well, or maybe
no, I don't play
maybe
them.
we do another video talking about like I know I've got something coming for the matchups to make it a bit easier. Whoop.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, all good.
So we'll move on to another team which I'm really keen to see, which is Sand, Salt, and Tears. And I'll start the
Yes, the
timer,
Tomb
the
King.
5 minute timer, if you want to run us through what we got.
Awesome. So a Tomb King's team, which I haven't seen or played against before,
Oh, they're
which is
cool.
really exciting for
Super
me.
cool.
Super cool, right? 4 Tomb Guardians. Geez, they're going to be a nightmare to deal with.
Mm. And what do the Tomb Guardians have? What's their strength?
What's their strength?
Mm.
Probably their strength and the no activation on the big guys.
They're really
Personally,
reliable.
yeah, absolutely. You can do what you want to do. Okay, so as for team composition, we've got one anointed blitzer with the normal block on a blitzer. Oh, actually, there's 2 of those. There's a one thrower, and then the rest of the list is filled out with linemen. Everything's got regen, Carl.
Yeah, it's quite a hard team to put into the ground,
Thick
and a lot
skull
of
on everything
thick
except for
skull
the
on
big
everything.
ones. Which I guess AV10 thick skulls probably would be nice to have, but AV10 strength 5.
Yeah,
I'm
not
gonna
much
really
is.
struggle against this team.
I feel like not much punches these things. This. Do you know how decay works?
Oh, so is that the one when they're knocked out, then you roll again? Or
I'm
am
not.
I thinking of something completely different?
I'm not sure. I only know it in its old rules, so correct me if I'm wrong on this. I actually probably should have got a rule book, but I believe that when they roll, it's like a nega trait, but it's probably the best of all the nega traits, right?
Yep.
So it's when they roll on the injury table, they roll twice and pick the worst result. Um, So,
Right. Yeah.
so when I mean the injury, I mean the casualty table. Sorry. So when they're actually getting
Yeah.
injury. So when if you do manage to cause them a long-term injury, it'll generally be pretty bad. But then they'll probably just regen the thing anyway. So it doesn't even matter. So
Goes back and forth with that one.
in my experience, these things are pretty reliable and they rarely go away.
Excellent.
Um,
What I'm noticing here is we have the thrower as the. Well, actually, I tell a fib. All except for the big ones are picking that ball up on fours.
Yeah, oh
It's
yeah.
brave.
Now, I was going to point this out because some people see this as a weakness, but personally, I see it as a team strength. Agility 4
Excellent.
plus across the board, if not lower. Um, really, you've got to lean into that, I think, and just be ready that 4 plus pickup with sure hands. I'm pretty sure you have sure hands, and he's got leader, so he's got 4 rerolls, which is a good pick on the leader there. Actually,
Yeah,
on the
true.
anointed thrower, I think that's a really good pick. Um, it's this.
It is a
Um,
returning coach too.
Look, there's one saying I've heard that I think is quite funny, and it's nothing is more sadder than Tomb Kings in the rain. Um, but really, I think all they're going to do is pick up the ball with their thrower, and then they're just going to go to town on your team and slowly walk the ball up the field. Um,
Look, we're going to see a lot of casualties caused from this team. Seeing the coach play last season with Chaos, I believe.
yeah, was it like
Yeah,
Chaos or Nurgle? I think.
that's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to hit like a truck.
yeah, I think he's planning on removing a lot, a lot of individuals. I would rather versus Tomb early, I think, before all these Tomb Guardians start getting injuries and skills,
Yep.
than later on when they're all skilled up. Do you know what I think one of the funniest things about this team, and why I love one of the things I love about Tomb Kings? So they're all agility 4 plus, right? But they've given the throw a pass, but they don't have anyone with catch, and everyone's catching on a 4 plus. He can barely throw the ball. Although he's passing 3
Well,
plus, so that's an upgrade for him. Look at him go. Uh,
you know what? It's going to change the way you play when you're put in a situation like that, and it's probably going to bring a lot out of the coach.
yeah. Oh look, I think it's a strength because no one is going to expect you to do like a 5 plus long bomb with pass with a Kenrith thrower to a to a anointed blitzer downfield, right? So when you pull that off, people are going to be looking at you stunned. Um, Yeah, we're down to about one more minute. Um, anything? So this is a returning coach. This is not a redrafted team. It's a new team. No names, unfortunately. One of my
Right.
favorite teams I've ever seen was a Tomb King team, and they were all just Egyptian puns. I think their
Yeah,
team motto
that's
was
cool.
like "Walk like an Egyptian, score like an Egyptian." It was great. Um,
How's yeah.
but overall, I think it's a really solid
It's going to be
team.
solid.
Yeah,
It's
there's
going to be one to look
I
out for.
don't want to versus team. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Uh,
like you said, play him early. Hopefully,
Saying that, we'll
once
come back
again,
to
not
this,
not part of my draw.
but I think, and this is just going a little bit over time, I think the first matchup for this team is this
The Ogre
Ogres
Achievers.
versus this, and I think that would be a hell of a game to watch. All the big strength pieces.
Dude, like if it was possible, this would be one of the ones that we actually capture.
Yeah, I think that would be a great game. The Ogre Achievers versus Sand Salt and Tears. Anyway, though,
Definitely
we better
gonna
move
be a
on.
close one.
Try and keep to our time frame. Yeah, so Sand Salt and Tears. I really like Tomb King, so I'm really
Hell yeah.
keen to see where they go. Now,
Alrighty.
this one here um, is
What
one
are
of
you gonna
my
say here?
contenders for. I'm definitely putting out a nominee for um, best theme and best naming scheme.
Okay, well you can do the name.
So it is a Skaven team, Royal with Cheese, team number 3.
Royale.
Royale with cheese, yep. And of course,
Excellent.
as you expect, they are all named after types of cheese.
I love
Uh,
cheese myself,
yeah,
so
I'm a bit
I'm
of a
gonna be
cheese
moving on
connoisseur,
to my
so
run with my Skaven flag, flying it high for this team.
yeah. And you'd have a soft spot too because you're a Skaven player yourself for them.
Correct.
Um,
I'll be watching very closely.
well, I
See if
guess
I can pick up
I'll let
something.
you run through the composition because you'll probably have more experience and expertise on this
Awesome.
area than I will.
Right, so current team value sits at 1,065,000 million gold, I should say, which is good for the 1.1 starting cash.
Mm,
So, okay, let's have a look at the list. So I can see 6 clan rats.
mm.
You know, I have a lot of uses for a clan rat. Only the 2 gutter runners, a little bit different to the way I normally do it, but I'm sure we'll see some changes through the season. 2 Skaven Blitzers, 1 with Mighty Blow, that's a good choice on the Skaven Blitzer. You're probably going to get a few casualties and get those SVP points. Skaven Thrower is great. Colby, what a name. Brilliant.
Yeah,
And then we
I thought that was great. Colby for the Skaven thrower it just works on so many levels.
have Colby. So good. And then the Rat Ogre, everyone's favourite big guy. Well, in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
Um,
Okay.
I'm also I was going to agree with you a big fan on the Mighty Blow on the Blitzer. I think the logic here is that'll help him get more SPP by helping him get more injuries, so it'll help him level up.
A bit of guard and tackle on that Blitzer,
Yeah, I'll be interested to see where he
which is
goes with that
actually good.
first. Because if he gets tackle against all these lizard teams, he is just going to have a skink killing machine
Absolutely.
on his hands. So
Oh,
I think it.
Apothecary off for the back, out of the gate, so
Yeah, no apothecary. Has started with extra fans though, so I think he might be trying to
some gold.
get some gold early and then use that to buy his
You know what?
fill out his
Knowing
support.
Skaven, as much as they might be on the squishy side, they definitely have scoring potential. So, you expect, a minimum of 1 touchdown out of a team like this.
Mm.
So we will see how it all goes. Is a rookie coach, which is awesome to see from the league point of view.
But have
We all start somewhere.
I will say, having played this coach a few times, he's a very good rookie coach. I think he's picked up the game faster than anyone else I've ever played before. Um, he's picked it up very, very, very quickly. So don't let the fact that he's new to
Oh
the
yeah, definitely
season
not.
fool you. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how this team develops. I actually am really interested to see how he develops the blitzes. I'm
Yeah, well, putting that skill on the blitzer, yeah, that shows where his team's going, right?
yeah. And it'll be interesting to see if how heavily he uses them because he might end up leveling them up more than the gutter runners,
The
depending on how
gutter
he
runners
goes.
only need that 1
Yeah.
level up for block, and then they're great.
Mm. Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. Any final thoughts? Because we're bound to about 30-ish seconds.
Oh,
So
look, the team's theme is amazing.
yeah.
Um, me being me, I'll probably try and get to as many of these games as possible. I just want to see if I can pick something up from a rival Skaven coach.
Yeah, that'd be good. Actually, that's a really good point. Actually, seeing how someone else plays your team might see some. I guess mirror matches are good, like for that. You can kind of see how someone else uses that same team, and they might see things that you didn't actually think about before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like Skaven. I'm always happy to see him. I think I'll talk about it when we get to your team, but this might be a rough league for for a few of us teams. It's very bashy, and Skaven tend to die in droves. So hopefully his attrition's not too heavy. All right, but that is Royale with cheese, and I'll let you. Actually, I'll introduce this team because you did the
I did do
rats.
the last one.
Yeah, we'll alternate. And look, it's pro elves, and you know how I feel about pro elves. I think they are cool as. So we got the Krakens, Elven Union, pro elves, the
Yay!
cool elves, in my opinion. And we've got some really cool names. Like I feel like there's some references in here that I'm not quite getting. Um,
Yeah, they are very
but they're just
unique.
cool.
They just look like they've been drawn from somewhere.
Yeah, and they're just cool, memorable names. Like I could totally see like Quentin Barnes being the best thrower, you know, and everyone's trying to beat Quentin Barnes, right? Anyway, his
You know,
composition, he's got two Elven Blitzers, and I'll talk about these guys because they're like, mwah. He's
getting
got
dodge.
two throwers, two catches, and then a bunch of linemen, rounding me out at 11 players. So no bench for the Elven Union, which is
He has
fine.
used up his whole treasury too.
Yes, but he's gotten all. He's maxed out most of his positionals, right? Except for the catches, I think. And two's usually
You
enough
see,
with the catches.
you're
So,
looking at the Quinton Barnes,
hmm,
Elven thrower, cannoneer.
I didn't see that. Yeah. So he. Oh, okay. Well, that's given all what he's going to go for. You think? So clearly, he's Quinton Barnes here is he's going for a traditional quarterback role. So he's going to sit back and these really hard to stop Elven catches are just going to run downfield, maybe two on each side, one on each side, and they've got nerves of steel. They don't have dodge yet, but they can get
Yes.
it very quickly. Um, and just be like, okay, stop us. You can knock one of us down, but then the other one's going to catch it. So,
They're so quick as well. If they get the ball, a couple of go for it and they're in.
yeah, and basically speed 8. And they're just going to catch it anyway. With catch and nerves and steel, you just can't stop these guys from catching the ball. They're getting it. I will also say that this combo that they start with, if you give these guys on the ball as a skill, they make the best interceptors in the game. Um, like normally you don't really think about interceptions and deflections because they're pretty unreliable, but these guys can actually reliably do it.
You know
Um,
what?
so
Agility 2, you're looking at the -2 modifier in that most of the time.
yeah, so they're deflecting it on a 4+ with a
Fine.
reroll as long as they're in that deflection range, which is not bad. That's like a 75% chance. Um,
You-
that's pretty good, right? And then they can potentially convert that into a an interception, which is a turnover for your opponent team, and your fast speed 8 player then has the ball. Um, so yeah, I really rate on the ball on these guys. If you want to make one, probably dodge first, but on the ball if you want to get like a really sweet interceptor, particularly in leagues with other elf players, right?
Which
That
we're
also
lacking
want
a
to
bit
throw
of
the
the
ball.
Elvish love this season, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah,
That's got
yeah,
beyond elves.
that's definitely true. Yeah, I think this is literally the only elf team in the
It is.
season. Um,
Just having a look here.
Yeah, but they're really cool, and we've spent a little time talking about the catches and the pass with Cannoneer, which is going to make him be able to throw the crazy passes from downfield. He can just throw passes across the whole board. But these blitzers are amazing. You get these guys dodge, and you've got a blodge stepper. Like other
Yeah,
blitzers
that's the
dream of that kind of
three
agility.
that
Um,
three skill combination on anything outside of something with a lower movement.
mm.
You got yourself a touchdown machine.
And they're also decent armor too. So like with the rest of the team, you kind of want to avoid them out of combat and just dodge away as much as possible. Whereas these guys, you can just throw them in, and if people are throwing blocks at them and they've got blodge step, then they can potentially just end up wasting blocks, right?
Oh,
Wasting
yeah.
actions, and just helping you move to wherever you want to go. These guys are really cool. These blitzers. Um,
So would you be looking at it as the blitzers as the ball carrier or the catchers doing all the movement?
I think from playing this team, and I've played a lot of pro elves, I've found a lot of success with it putting the your best thrower picking up the ball and just waiting, just hanging back, looking for that pass, like playing like a
You
traditional
don't need to
quarterback.
score every turn. Exactly right.
And you you don't have to pass with him as soon as he's got the ball. You hold on to it, and then you set up your positioning so you can attack both sides. Because what you want to do is you want to pull your opponent out of position so that you can then. And this guy's gonna be able to pass the ball like to wherever
Switch
he
it to the
wants.
opposite side
All
and
right.
off you go. They're not going to catch you.
They can't. You just make sure you got a couple of threats. You got a couple of threats. Very few teams can deal with that. Um, and then you can just pass to whichever one um, is open,
Got the face.
and yeah, and score. It's pretty good, and yeah, they're just really cool. They're really fun if you like want to play and do bullshit with the ball. This team is awesome. Also through rerolls. What do you got to love?
No apothecary again. Brave
No,
people.
but lots of fans, so probably will buy it straight after his first game. And
Yep.
That's unfortunately our
Unless
5 minutes up. So as much as I'd love to
let's
talk to
get
it. Any final thoughts, Luke?
yeah, another team that I don't think I've got the honor to play this season
Oh,
in the
rough.
normal draw, but I'm sure I'll get a friendly on with this coach sometime in the season.
Oh, and if you ever hear me call them pro elves, that's just I don't know where that name comes from. Sometimes Elven Union's referred to as pro elves.
Pro Elves, I love it.
All right.
Ooh,
Next team is a team with a very cheeky name, and I'll let you introduce this one, Luke.
the Krakens. Is that correct, or am I missing something?
No, we just had the Krakens.
You just had the Krakens. Ah, of course, that would make perfect sense. Well, I couldn't figure out I was reading the same team name. Yes, Dave's Bulls hit. Chaos Chosen. Yes, that's a brilliant name. I'm a bit sad that I didn't think of anything remotely as clever.
Mm. Sorry, my I'll have to get you to walk us through it because I'm
Okay.
sneezing like a
See,
champ at the
I
moment.
was actually toying with taking the Chaos Chosen this season, but I changed my mind at the last moment. Okay, so team composition is pretty standard for what I understand of the Chosen. Four Chosen blockers, great. Um, you know, like it, most people would say, in that first skill, and then they just start rolling on. And then the rest of the team to fill out the 11
Definitely.
is all Beastman runner linemen,
Yeah.
all with horns, and he's been able to give um, Beastman runner number one sure hands, which
Beautiful
is
pick.
a great idea.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree with you in your assessment. Chaos are a team, they're like a late league team. They take a while to get going. But once they do, they're
Once they get those
nasty.
key skills,
Yeah, like that's it. They just need a few skills in all their players. They're kind of cool in the sense that they don't really have any positionals. Like they got the blockers, but you
how
develop.
good is horns? You just never know where that strength four blitz is coming
Oh
from.
yeah, absolutely.
Like you play ogres and you know that that's where the strength five is. That's where the ogres are.
Mm,
But with a team like this, they just come out of nowhere and they'll hit your ball carrier or hit my ball carrier. I know that much.
yeah, and that just makes it like you can just leave one back as a safety, and they're like the best safeties. Um,
Oh yeah.
and you can this horns. It's such a flexible skill. You can. There's so many other skills it combos with, so you can give one block just as a like literally as a safety, or one wrestle to take out blodgers, or there's just one frenzy even like works if you want to have like a strength 4 frenzy that just serves people. Um,
Like,
it's I love how these beasts when you can give them a bunch of skills and they become positionals. They have specific roles because they've also got mutation access, I believe. Is that
they
correct?
do. They
Yeah.
do. I'm not sure if top of my head whether it's a primary or secondary, but having access to it anyway, like most of them taken as a random, cannot be too bad, and it's going to change your team's flavor, and you're going to become versatile
Mm.
unless you're rolling the same skills, which it's just the dice sometimes.
Yeah, so that's really depends on if you want to go for a random or a picked. Also, I've got the answer here. They actually have mutations on primary, which is amazing.
That's
Um,
pretty cool.
that is pretty good. So they got general mutation and strengths. It's a lot of flexibility.
Now I'm
Uh,
looking at the chaos blockers here. We've got a undivided theme here. So
mm.
Slanesh, Nurgle, Korn, and Zeech.
I
So
I feel
we've
like
got a
the
couple of
I feel like the coach is still working on a naming scheme with this one because we got the player formerly known as Prince for Slaanesh. So I'm interested to see what they come up with. Um,
answers. I like it.
yeah, interested to see.
Time will tell.
Otherwise, I think that's very close to our 5 minutes.
Oh,
Any
just before
other
we go,
things you'd like to comment on this
three
team?
rerolls, apothecary, three extra fans.
Mm.
Yeah, it's going to be a solid team. Give it a couple of matches and a team to look out for.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a really balanced
Oh,
start for
one last thing.
Corn.
This coach was a finalist last season. It's good to
Ah,
see them come back. So that's great.
excellent. Yeah, I didn't actually know which. What did they play last season? Do you know?
Wood Elves, mate.
Wood Elves. Ah, excellent. So,
Bit of a
uh,
switch up.
yeah, this is different sort of team. Definitely much more bashy. So, yeah, I reckon a couple of games you're right, and this team will really shine.
I'm a little yeah. I have the Dave's Bulls hit. I have them for round 4, I believe. So I'll be looking forward to that match.
Oh, excellent. We'll see if Dave Bulls hit you.
They will hit me. I'm 100% sure.
All right. So next up we have, I think this is our first returning
Redraft.
redrafted team. Um,
Okay.
so we've got the Buderim Brontos, and before I forget, I'll start our timer to make sure we're keeping on time. And I'm seeing some returning names here, which I'm loving. Some returning players. So this is a redraft team, which is it's I believe it's 1,300, but there is a cost for hiring back players. Um, so it goes
Is it a
quite quickly,
CTV
doesn't
here?
it?
Oh, you can go through it really quickly.
Uh,
Yep.
it's more about picking the couple of players you really want to keep on, and so we've got a couple of skink runners, all of which they're not I don't think they're redrafted per se, but he's used the same name because they didn't have any at SPP, and I like these names. This is a cool scheme in the first season. It's good to see them back. Um, Cami Chameleon's got some new names in there. So we're seeing some Chameleon Skinks. I don't think I saw any of these last season, at least I didn't in any of my games.
Hit the max there with the chameleon skinks, two of them.
Yeah, two of them, and it's really going to come down to this. I'll go through the thing and then I'll come back to it. But and then we've got some redrafted Saurus, and I think this is awesome. So he's got some Saurus with block. One of them's got block and mighty blow,
Oh,
and that's really all you want on the Saurus is block. Once they get that, they're great. Um, Only the four starting Saurus, so he might be looking.
it's
Now
an
I have
interesting choice.
Now I haven't got his actual fans because I think his actual fan factor is a bit higher because you keep your fan factor from your last season with a redrafted
Yeah,
team.
I can't see that either, but
I
he
think it is.
did buy two extra.
Yeah, I think it is has ended up being relatively high, so he should be earning money, and I think he'll be using that to using that to buy more Saurus blockers. I think a lot of his money has gone this time onto redrafting these Saurus with block, which you
Oh,
can see they're expensive players. And remember to recruit them, to redraft them, it's actually an extra 20k on top of this. It'll be
yeah.
an extra, yeah, 20k on top of each of them that you just pay straight out of your treasury. It doesn't add to the team V, but you got to pay the cost for all the paperwork. Um, so I think he's invested in just getting these like Saurus with block back on his team, which I think is a great investment because you can know how long it can sometimes take to get them block, um, and they're amazing when they get it.
Oh, so true.
Mm.
Something of note here is the Buderim Broncos, as much as being a redrafted team, their coach was Rookie of the Year last season. Yeah, Carl?
Sorry, just got just my partner came in. um,
You're right, mate. Yeah, so rookie of the season last season,
mm.
trophy winner. So that's awesome to see a returning coach, and the redraft is great. It looks like a really solid team.
Also, I'm pretty sure this is the team that broke my thrower's arm. Um,
I have this team round two, and I'm
yeah.
scared, scared, scared.
Well, yeah, this team is responsible for my throw with -1 pass, which is good to see. I
Exactly.
hope I don't verse them again. So, three rerolls, got an apothecary, extra fans. Yeah, I think this is a cool
Nice.
team to see back.
1.2 for the CTV.
Mm.
That's good. Then yeah, it's going to be a team that's going to go from strength to strength with the skills that I'm looking at here, and the coach's play style is really going to shine with these skills that he's kept.
Mm.
The
It's been a
players that
it's
he's
been
kept.
a brood team, a slow brood team, I think. What do you reckon about the chameleon skinks? We didn't see really any of them last season.
Yeah, it's shadowing. Yeah, on the ball. That's great. That's going to be your
Yeah,
kick receiver there.
they've still
More
got
than
dodge and
likely.
stunty. I think they're going to be good on the ball. I think it's a really good
And
skill.
stunty. I mean, like it's it's great. Like
Mm.
I don't have any of those skills on my players, but that combination of stunty and dodge, like not worrying too much about the tackle zones and having the built-in reroll with dodge,
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
you can do some cool stuff.
yeah. I think you can do a lot of the stuff. The only downside they have on a normal skink is just slightly slower. But they're better all around everywhere else, like passing. Um,
Passing's great. Pretty
Shadowing
great passing.
I don't know how I feel about shadowing. I used to love it in the audition. It was an amazing skill, but it's one of those skills that kind of got nerfed a bit into the ground. So I don't know if it's
You know what?
still good, if that
No,
makes sense.
it's good. It's good
It is
against my
good.
gutter runners. It's going to mark up, and I'm not going to be able to dodge away. Or it's going to keep pushing me. pushing and pushing.
Well, I'll be interested to see how it goes because it used to be better. It used to be quite strong. So I'm really keen to see how that goes. But that is about 5 minutes up. So Buderim Brontos, really good to see him back. I'm keen to see what.
Absolutely. Good luck.
And I'll let you do the 300 Anonymous 9 cap,
300
I think
with
it's the
Black
name on.
Hawks. Excellent. Let's look at the team competition here. Awesome. So 6 Blackhawks straight out of the gate, and then filling out with another 6 Goblin Bruisers, 1 Train Troll. That's, from my opinion, that's pretty standard.
That's pretty much the only build you got, I think, with Blackhawks. You've only really got 3 players. There's not a whole lot you can do with them.
Now, looking at the skills here, we have Goblin Bruiser Lineman number 7 has Brawler. Now, that's interesting because I haven't seen that combination before.
Yeah, I found that interesting too.
What are we looking at here?
You know what I was wondering,
rerolls?
just with
2
this.
rerolls?
Sorry to interrupt you. What I was wondering is, I'm wondering if if he originally had the troll here, and he changed it around, and so it's meant to be the troll with brawler, and he's just swapped the position because you know how it keeps the skills on the cell.
Of course.
So that might, or it could be a Goblin Bruiser lineman with brawler that we're just not seeing.
Just not sure.
The Matrix with. But if that is the case, for the coach of the 300, yeah, just might want to change that around if that's what actually happened.
If that's your choice, I'm sure it'll work in lots of different circumstances. Perfect example was my Red Ogre last season had Brawler, and don't think too much about it, but when you do get that double down, it's nice to have that skill for the reroll.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, like I was saying, 2 rerolls. That's bold. If you can fit in, the league rerolls are so high for this team. What else are we looking at? Assistant coaches, so that's going to be great for the kickoff event. No apothecary, no extra fans, and the team's CTV is sitting at 1,095,000 gold, which is great. So there's a lot of room for movement with this team.
I'd be tempted because they get the cheap bribes, don't they, as well?
They get the cheaper bribes.
Yeah, that's also good. Don't forget about that. So if you're 50k under, take a bribe. Bribes are great. Just foul away with these goblins.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got bench too, so his team is like if he loses goblins, if someone's picking on his goblins, he's got plenty more to throw in. So he's never going to be outnumbered. Absolutely. I feel with his team.
Wonder if we're going to get any. We're probably going to get a fair bit of vomit with the troll. That's a great skill. And throw teammate. I want to see more of that.
Yeah. I think we will with the ogre teams we've got. But throw teammate is great. I just think, I don't know, I love the Blackhawks. Just the Blackhawks, man. They're just so good. Like
they're solid.
Yeah.
Well, looking at last season, our first place was Blackhawks. Not to take anything away from the coach. Yeah, no, they're a great solid team with no glaring holes in their team composition at all.
I mean, well, here's the criticism I always hear about Blackhawks is that a lot of people say they're lizardmen with -2 speed on everyone, but they just this brawler grab combination it makes them. I think it plays really well into the league we've got, which is people. This league is a bashy league. People love to bash. And no one does that better than Blackhawks.
So true.
And so, particularly, I find that they actually go really well into lizards because the lizards rely really heavily on that Saurus front line, and the Blackhawks just beat the crap out of them. Blackhawks can beat them up.
Well, the thing is, you get those pushes from the Blackhawks, and you're just going to push them straight into 2 dice blocks.
Yeah, and the only team I think the lizard team with all the Blocksaurus will be interesting matchup against the Blackhawks. I think that'll be interesting to see.
I'm super excited for all the games this season, but yeah, that's a good matchup, the Lizards and Blackhawks for sure.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? We've got about a minute left on the 300.
Another team that I probably won't get to see until the finals, depending on if we end up in the same division. So I will, as always, try and get along and watch as many games as possible. So good luck, the 300.
Yeah, I think I do play this team later in the season, I think, and that's great. I love versing Black Hawks with nobles. It's a really fun game because they just all have positioning, shenanigans stuff going on. There's a reason they both came in the box together. Um, but
Well
yeah,
done.
I agree. Yeah, good luck. Best of luck to the coach of the 300. Really keen to see how this team goes.
Absolutely. Alrighty, Carl.
All right, I will do the a band. Well, it should be abandoned teddy bears. I've accidentally cut out called them abandoned. I'll fix that in the future. Don't worry. It should be abandoned teddy bears, and they're underworld denizens, which I also
Wow.
think are a really cool team. That doesn't
So
see
much
a
flavor.
yeah, they do. They don't see a lot of play. This was literally the only picture I could find of them online. They were using these generic pictures, and I could not find anything else but this weird troll. Um,
Nice to troll with the warpstone.
yeah.
Awesome.
So, what has he got now?
Oh,
He has got so Underworld Denizens are a weird team. They're like a combination of goblins, snotlings, and Skaven. So he's maxed out all the Skaven positionals you can get, and they can now get. So he's got an Underworld Thrower, which is basically a Skaven thrower, but oh, he's
yep.
bought the extra arm for him, which is awesome.
Yep.
So
So that's
that's
more
great.
distance, right? So the modifier for range.
I thought it was pickups, but I'm not entirely sure. I actually haven't played many teams with
Hands
mutations,
is what you're
so
thinking, I think.
um, I thought it might be pickup, but I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Regardless, it's either pickups or throws. It's going to make him better at doing whichever one of those, which is great. I think they can only get the one thrower. They can get a gutter runner now. They never used to be able to get a gutter runner, but they can only get one, and they traded a blitzer for it. Um, so they can get a gutter runner, which is awesome because gutter runners are amazing.
The
Um,
combination of Skaven throw and gutter runner.
yeah, and one blitzer now though. They used to be able to get two Skaven blitzers, and this team really relies on this. Used to really rely on these blitzers. Um, a troll, great. They get clan rats, so Skaven linemen. They are positionals for the underworld, and then their actual linemen are goblins, and he's got a few snotlings thrown in there just for their sweet ability to dodge around the field. Um,
And swarming.
and scoring, they have this rule called amosity, which just means it's harder for them to give the ball to that specific type of player. So obviously the Skaven consider themselves superior to the goblins, so they have a hard time giving the ball to the goblins. And that not the Snotlings, surprisingly, unless Snotlings count as goblins. I'm not sure. But the main thing this team gets is everyone gets mutation access. So this team, when it gets going, can do some really crazy stuff. Only one reroll. I too like to live life dangerously. Lots of fans, so probably planning on buying
Heap of fans.
heaps of stuff and sitting on a TV of only
One.
785k. So
That
lots
is
of
super
inducement.
low.
Yeah, that's
That's
super. That I'm actually. Oh, the bill of Snotlings is taken because they don't count. Right. Um, what?
so. What are we expecting from this team? A lot of inducements, star players. Um, you're going to find that this team, even when it gets going, you end up with two or three, four skills across the 14 players or so. It's not going to affect the CTV that much, even
Mm,
5 games in. So you're going to be looking at a really low cost team here.
yeah. So we'll see a lot of inducements. This team's also. I think it's one. I think it's a bit more of a late league team in the sense that they when they start loading up all these different mutations, it's pretty gnarly. Like
It's
when they
hard to
get.
keep track of too.
Yeah.
You have six or so players with random skills, and you've really got to focus on which ones where like their positioning.
Mm, yeah. Um, and this like just the fact they can only get one of each of their positionals can be kind of tough. Um, because but like when this Skaven Blitzer, if he gets like claw, mighty blow, tackle,
Oh yeah, and it's not
horns on him,
impossible to do.
horns is ridiculous. You suddenly have a strength 4 Skaven Blitzer with speed 7. Um,
Obvious would be the gutter runner as ball carrier.
yeah, probably. Or he probably use I reckon the thrower because he hasn't got many rerolls. I reckon he'll use the thrower to pick up the ball because this will be super reliable. And then he'll just pass to the gutter runner where he feels like it with his 2+ pass to the 2+ catch.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
And then this like gutter runner can also now has mutations, so you can give it two heads. Two heads still a thing in the new rules?
Yeah, it's still a thing. Yeah,
That's
it definitely is a viable option.
is that still +1 to just dodges?
Dodgers, yes.
Yeah, so basically agility 5 for dodges. That gunner runner will just run through all your tackle zones and be like, whatevs. So if you thought the gunner runners were hard to stop, just wait till it has two heads. Um, so yeah,
But
and
yeah,
even
look out for high inducements from this team.
yeah, absolutely. Um,
Anything else we're missing?
oh look, I
Oh,
feel like we're
returning coach,
oh yeah,
finalist from last season, so expect more of the same, I would say, out of this team. One to watch.
this is a really interesting team. Underworld's there's a lot going on in Underworld, so it'll be really interesting to see how it develops. Its development's crazy, so it'll be really interesting to see how it goes. They will get beaten up a lot though, I feel.
You know what? With all these snotlings and stuff, I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably their job. Take the fall. All right,
Yeah,
well,
I,
we'll move on to the next one. So this is number 9 of the 10 we're going to do in this video. The Lizard
how,
Wizards. Do you get the reference?
can you fill me in?
I think this is a reference. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, a band.
Yeah, the band, of
Yeah,
course.
I believe, and it's our second, but not last, Lizardman team. Um, but one thing I do like is all the Lizard teams we've got are distinctly different starts. So I'll get you to you can take this one away, Luke.
Awesome. The Lizard Wizards, a new coach this season. So once again, welcome to the Sunshine Coast Blood Bowl League. Coach of the Lizard Wizards. We have what I would call your standard lizard list with the 6 Saurus blockers, Croxigore, and then filling out the following 11 with the Skink Runner lineman. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's the way I would go if I
Yeah,
was putting together a lizard team myself.
I agree. This is the list I'd run if I was playing Lizards.
Now, how'd we go? No skill buy-ins by the looks of it. Am I missing
Um,
anything? No.
so well, he's maxed out. He's got the extra reroll that you normally don't start with, which is
Um,
great for Lizards.
yeah, three's great. So that ball's going to get picked up one way or another, and then it's going to move up the field very quick with these movement 8 skinks for sure. Never know. Saurus with the ball is pretty deadly too. Movement 6. Just
Yeah.
don't know.
I think that's the strength of this just be the 6 Saurus blockers and the Croxigore. That's a tough front line to get through.
Even with the amount of bashy teams, when you have that 7 strength 4 or higher players just on your starting lineup, yeah, it's hard to get through.
It is, yeah. It's incredibly hard to get through. And the only thing I would say is he's only got the 4 skinks, so he's going to have to really rely on keeping these guys safe. But that's not hard to do when you have this strong a front line. So, yeah, I think. Oh, you go.
Like you said, 3 rerolls is, you know what? This list I would put together myself. I'm not a super bashy coach myself, but if I was going to do it, this is how I would do it.
I agree. It's really balanced. Balanced is probably the word I would use. Also, I hope we haven't been forgetting. I'm just going to scroll back up. Yes, we haven't. Good. Just the last 2 teams didn't have names. I like the names on this one. What do you reckon? I'm a fan. I'm almost thinking the nomination. Skink
Ooh.
the Link, Skink Kaplink, Skink Vermink, and Skinkadink. I'm down with the rhyming
Brachiosaurus is
scheme.
nice. Lidosaurus, Jumosaurus, yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah, I'm putting that one down. I like it. It's memorable, Cretosaurus, and there's a lot you can do with it. I can't wait to see more skinks. I hope he keeps the same rhyming scheme going.
Excellent, dude.
Yeah.
Can't
Lizard
change without
Wizards. You know what they say about big names, big time players. All right. Yeah, and it might not seem like we have too much to say about this team, but it's just really balanced and really solid. I think like it's
There's no issues with this list at all.
no chameleons though. That would be my if only you could get a chameleon skink in there somehow. Do you need one though?
Give it a game or two, and time will tell.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose. And no extra fans, but it's pretty. You know, like he's probably going to be playing a lot of people with a lot of fans, so he might be just trying to ride off the money of all the other teams he's playing. Because remember, if your opponent has lots of fans, that kind of counts to the overall money you all get anyway. So um, it's you can just maybe use all your opponents free fans to get heaps of money, tickets to your game. Um, yeah, so yeah, cool team, cool.
Cool.
No, is there a bench? Is there a bench? No bench. That's the other
No
thing that's
Ben.
probably rough. But I suspect he'll pick that up real quick. And the re-rolls on
The
the
three is great.
yeah, simply because man, Lizardman re-rolls are expensive. Um,
So
getting
you
them,
get them out of the gates,
yeah,
and you're probably going to buy one, mid to late season, depending on how your season is actually going.
yeah.
Going into the finals with 4 rerolls, you can't
Mm.
complain about that.
Yeah, I think four. And I don't think this team needs any more than four, to be honest. I think four is heaps safe and you'd be really good. So, yeah, like it. And that's pretty much wraps up the Lizard Wizards, our second last team in the first 10. Welcome. You said it was a new coach?
Here's a rookie coach.
Yeah, nice. Welcome to the league. Hope you have fun. And look, we got another 10 spot is another Lizardman team, and it's a
What a
returning
name
Lizardman team with a
it
cool
is.
name, the Tek Queela Slammers. Um, so, um, did I go through the last one? Or did you? I can't remember.
I believe
Um,
I did.
okay, so um, similar but different build to the previous Lizardman one. And we've got a chameleon skink in. Oh, he's just mixed all the numbers up. I've seen chameleon skink in here, and he's got sure hands on it, which is
Canada.
great. So I think this is a redrafted player, Tongzalathal.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
like the lore-friendly names too. This is kind of cool. Um, he's got another naked chameleon skink. I think this might just be a new recruit. Um, if you've got the thing open there, I think this is a new recruit. Um,
Looks like it.
he's got a redrafted skink with jump up and sidestep, which is awesome on skinks. That's really annoying. The only thing this guy needs to be even more annoying is diving tackle, and then you can just use him to mark players. Um, a bunch of skinks, a bunch of new skinks. He's got his Croxigore, and then he's got four blockers once again, two
Two
with
with
block.
block.
So we see some of these redrafted Lizard teams really investing in these Saurus with block, which I think is great. But the coach of the Queela Slammers has also invested in some really good like ball handlers and skinks, which is um, awesome. So you know what we haven't seen yet though,
So
no stat increases yet. No stat
I,
increases. So hopefully some of these redrafted players can get a stat increase.
someone take our advice and go the extra stat.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of SPP you got to save to get it though, so it's pretty tough. Three rerolls, which is like we said just before, awesome.
So
And a team value of
0.19.
1,190k. So almost 1,200. So
That's a good starting CTV, especially against the newer teams
mm,
because it's less than 100k for most of them.
yeah, so then
So
get like a free
kind
bribe
of
against you or something. Yeah.
yeah, they'll end up with a prayer or two, or
Mm.
well, we will see.
Yeah, yeah. I think um yeah, I think it's a good solid start. And he's got a lot. It's a solid team. It's got a lot. He's redrafted exactly what he needs, but it's still strong.
Yeah,
I really.
everything that this team needs to do, it's going to do well.
Oh, I didn't realize this chameleon skink has cannoneer. He's got a passing chameleon skink. He
Sure
must have
hands.
taken. Did he take a random
And
secondary to get that?
just trying to add that up. So, what are they? 70 out of the
Yeah.
gates,
So this one here is 70 out of
110
the
for the year.
gate.
So that's
Uh,
40. So that's two chosen
two
skills.
chosen. So he's got a shorthand. So he's got a passer. He's made a. So this chameleon skink is on the ball. So he'll run and get the ball. Then he's
So
gonna
that would
fly
that
up
would
and
be
he
why they're
can
only the
make
four
a.
blockers.
Yeah.
Because the rest of those skink runners are going to be looking for that pass
Mm.
all
Um,
day.
so yeah, that'll be interesting. So he's all about getting on the ball and passing it off. He's got his sure hands
Is the
too, so he's
coach
a safe
that
ball
you
carrier.
is this a coach that you get to play this season, Carl?
Um, I did remember my matchups, but I can't remember. I do verse a couple of Lizardman teams, but there's a fair few in there that I've kind of forgotten. So I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm not sure. But that's our first 10 teams. That's the first part of the pre-season breakdown. Is there anything you'd like to add, Luke, before we end this video? And we will be doing another video on the other 10, the remaining 10 teams.
I have nothing more to say about these starting 10.
Yeah, I think this is we're kind of seeing the type of league it is develop with how many what teams we've got in there. Yeah, so if hope you enjoyed the video if you're watching this one, and hope your team does well in the finals. Oh, sorry, not the finals, in the season.